Alright, we are back for Lewis and Clark, my game versus Categirn Part 2. Right now I'm at the base of the mountain, and what I end up doing is I have Tetoharsky a way to get up the mountains, and likely I'm going to, since I don't have any Indians, I'm not going to be able to use him to go up the mountains. So what I end up doing is I just use Tetoharsky to grab just a ton of wood. And I decide that I don't want too much wood, so I get rid of it, making it so I won't lose any days when I camp. Well, I still lose 2 days for camping, one for that one and one for my other Indian that I had. Alright, then Categirn plays Sacagawea, collects some wood, equipment, and fur from places right here. And then from there, I play my commander, moving me forward just a little bit using just food, 1 power of food to get right up back to the base of the mountain. Categirn plays Big White, who will allow him to get some more resources, get some equipment. He pays a bunch of equipment and resources to recruit Watquace, which is pay 1 resource of your choice and you move your scout as many spaces forward on the river as there are people on your playing area. So like he's already got 2 face-up people right there. Okay. Myself, I just play the guy to collect a bunch of Indians. I do that. Categirn, he plays the blacksmith, getting some equipment, filling up his boats. I play Tetoharsky finally, move way past him in the mountains, spending an Indian but moving every 3 resources. 1, 2, 3. I'm able to move up in the mountains, and so I pay 3 Indians to do it. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Yep. Paid 3 Indians, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I pass him, and it's looking good for me here. Now Categirn ends up playing the guy who moves forward based on how many mountain symbols he can see. So not on mine. I'm careful not to play those, but he has 1, 2 that do that. So each of those strength moves him up for 4 movement up the mountain. Still not passing me, and then he camps. And for me, I end up playing my dog just to get some food. And I still have an Indian left, and I believe I'm going to make a boat from him. He ends up playing his resource gatherer to get more equipment because he needs a little bit more push in the mountain. For me, I'm going to need to camp, or if I do camp, I go back 2 days. So best move for me, use the Indian, get rid of the Indian. I have 2 Indians, so each Indian is a day. If I get rid of the Indian, that gets rid of 1 day. The other day I'm losing is this boat right here. So probably I end up going there. Oh no, I didn't. So I did something really tricky right here. Is I use this action space, shamanism, which allows me to pay food, 1 food to activate a face-up character action that is already on the table in my own or another player's playing area. So what I end up copying is I copied my guy who moves up the river and used a canoe for that. So I was able to push myself even further up with a canoe, and then here I imagine I end up camping. Yep, so instead of getting an extra boat, I moved forward in the water, hoping to save myself, and then camping right there. Alright, let's see if it pays off. That's actually a cool, tricky spot, shamanism. You're able to spend a food to copy something else, and something that a lot of players overlook. Very cool ability, which raises this game for me a lot, the fact that you can be tricky like that. And he keeps doing his mountain moving strategy, getting some equipment, spending the equipment, and now he is at the end of the mountains in this little river area. And then what I end up doing is, well, no, sorry, Categirn's still on. I grabbed food, that was quick. He plays Sacagawea and gets, pays some wood to receive some canoes. So he got 2 canoes there. And then he pays 3 different resources to get a horse. So he's going to probably use those to go up the canoes, or up the water, and then into the mountains. Okay. And then for me, I just move forward really close to the mountains, not really thinking too much of anything, just getting really close to it and spending my John Newman card with 2 strength, so I use the interpreter for that. To just spend some, might as well use the interpreter while the John Newman while I have him, so he's not counting against days for me. But that ends up ruining me because he plays this guy Watqueus and moves forward in the water, stepping on my scout, making him move 1 step forward. So now he is in front of me, and he only needs 2 more spaces to get out of the mountains, which he will end up doing. But first, he camps. He doesn't have any need to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 resources, and exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces to put him in. So he is able to camp at the start of the mountains with a horse and canoes, making him dangerously close to beating me. So what I decided to do is use Tetaharsky and get myself really close towards the end. So move Tetaharsky with a strength of 1. I'm able to move 3 spaces up ahead in the mountains. And since I got close to that water, he's able to manipulate this. Okay, first he's spending cards just to spend cards. Okay, I'm just grabbing equipment for no reason. And then for my turn, I have just 1 strength to spend. I don't have any extra strength. Unfortunately, no extra Indians, and I'm only able to use 1 of my canoes. I still have 1 left. 1 canoe to go 4 spaces forward. I decide to camp. As you see that exclamation point, it says camp. Makes you want to camp right then and there, because you wouldn't lose anything for doing it, and might as well not give your opponent an advantage of a bunch of cards laying out. I bring my cards back to my hand. I am 1 space away from ending the game and winning. And then my opponent does this, playing their mountain mover. They end up moving forward in the mountains a little bit. And then I just start playing cards, get some food. I know food will be useful. And then in the next turn, I'll be able to move forward 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces. And then I'll camp and maybe go back a couple spaces, but at least I'll be close. So you camp -7. So if I camp right here, I'd go back 7 spaces. So in the next turn, I could just use Tetaharsky to power up my commander. Use 1 of those, 2 of these, going forward 8 spaces. 8 spaces, -7, I'm able to hit Fort Clatsop. However, let's see what he does. Ooh, so he plays Watwakis moving forward in the water a ton, and then Ecamps moving back only a couple spaces and wins the game by 1 turn. So right there, I lost by 1 turn, but through that, I hope you're able to kind of see how Lewis and Clark is played, and maybe get a feel for that. And in a following video I'm gonna rank each of the different recruits, because a big part of this game is which person should you recruit on your turn, and when do you call it good and you have a good setup. I'll give you a hint. You want to have a mountain mover and you want to have a river mover. You start with one that can do both, but you ideally want something similar to what Categirn had, where he had a mountain mover and a water mover. Watwakis being the water mover, and that one that used equipment being the mountain mover. So there you have it with Lewis and Clark. Hope that you enjoyed that video, and please like and subscribe for more content like this.